Weird sciencey facts that boggle my mind. This is a weird one I actually did know about. Eels are some of the most elusive and least understood creatures that we have common contact with. Now this is about European freshwater eels. Not the electric eel, which is not actually an eel, it's a fish. The commonly consumed type of eel that you'd find in lakes and streams. See, for most of human history back to Aristotle and the ancient Egyptians, we actually thought that there was numerous types of eel. It wasn't until the late 1800s that it was discovered that all these different types of eels were actually the same eels. They're just kind of like a butterfly. They go through metamorphosis in different parts of their life cycle, and they look like very different creatures in each part. And if you were to assume that once we figured that out, we would be able to trace back this life cycle and figure out where eels come from and how they reproduce, you'd be absolutely wrong. This just raised more questions because any of the eels that had been found in the wild lacked any sexual reproductive organs. So the search continued, and in the early 1900s, an expedition was mounted to figure out where the eel spawning ground was. And they figured it out, sort of. Through a number of expeditions sailing across the Atlantic trying to catch eels, they eventually caught the youngest eel larva they ever caught in the Bermuda Triangle. 'Cause why the fuck not? So through these expeditions, they scientifically deduced that in the Bermuda Triangle, or more specifically the Sargasso Sea, was where eels spawned. Even though they never witnessed any eel spawning, have never found any eel eggs in the wild, or any mature adult eels with reproductive organs to spawn. With that being the best hypothesis to date, it at least explained why mature eels would just disappear from fields and streams, and a little while later, younger eels in an early part of their life cycle would reappear. Since the earlier part of the 20th century, we really have learned nothing more about wild eel life cycles and spawning. But we have been able to do it in captivity. Using hormones, we've been able to induce the final part of an eel's life cycle in captivity and make them grow reproductive organs. They spawn by the female laying eggs and the males fertilizing those eggs, and then they die. What's even crazier is at this part of their life cycle, their stomach just disappears, and they swim all the way across the Atlantic to reproduce on their own fat reserves. And with modern technology, we've even GPS tracked eels across the Atlantic to where we assume their spawning grounds are. Despite all that and all the modern technology we have yet to witness eel spawning in the wild, have yet to find eel eggs in the wild, we have yet to even find sexually mature eels in the wild. And in 2022, that absolutely blows my mind. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, you can support the channel by buying merch. The link is in my link tree in my bio, or you can just go to offjoewagon.com. If you see stuff you like, please buy it. I appreciate the support. If there's stuff you want to see, please let me know, and I will do my best to make it happen. Love y'all.